Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Stupid for the 13th of June 2024. I'm here alone today. I do not have a co host. I guess it happens every now and then. I still want to change the day of the week, but I guess I can do it when the Archcast is live, but I don't want to take subscribers from Arch. I mean, he still has Dev as a co host, so if I start streaming over him, then yeah, it's going to be bad for his numbers. So I need to make what a normal friend likes, and like considering that he had the first time slot, I should allow him to keep it. And maybe I'll try on Friday. Probably not on Monday. I don't think I can do that. But yeah, it's been an interesting week. I don't even know what to begin with. Let's start with Doctor Disrespect. The situation is evolving every single day. Every single day, like more of Doctor Disrespect is trending. So it's interesting because like a lot of people are making content over it, right? Which is why it's trending. And I think like people are also interested because like people blame content creators all they want, but if the audience isn't there, if the audience isn't interested in the gossip, then the story would die out. But reality is that people are very interested in the situation, and I like there's a lot of things that are confirmed and a lot of things that aren't confirmed, right? So it all started with a Twitch mod which said, oh, if I sell enough tickets to my concert, I am going to tell you why Dr. Disrespect got banned from Twitch. So he did. I don't know if he did sell them, but basically he says, oh, it's because he was messaging minors, right? Now the interesting thing is that I looked back. The age of the minor was never confirmed, right? So like it's still up to debate. Could have been a 14-year-old, could have been a 17, right? Like a lot of people say 17. I don't really know where the number came up from, but it's what people are going with. However, like we don't have the log, so there's no evidence. And the fact that there was no evidence was literally the saving graces of Dr. Disrespect, and why a lot of content creators, including myself, I said, hey, I'm not going to pass judgment, simply due to the fact that, I mean, there's no evidence. Like why do you want me to go after a guy when no evidence is provided, right? But the thing is, like, he goes out and he says, oh, actually, yeah, like, the logs exist. I did talk to a minor, but, the conversation wasn't explicit, and I never actually showed anything. And, sometimes it lead into the inappropriate. Like, that's what he said. And at this point, like, everyone is canceling him, and everyone is pulling support. And it's not just, like, okay, 17 may be legal in some states, but the fact that he is married, he is like 35, like he has a daughter, like all of these things don't sit well with people. So this is why like a lot of people are distancing, and he's getting canceled left and right. I mean, he went from refusing $1 million deal with Kick to losing almost all of his income revenues in less than a week. Even YouTube demonetized them, and yeah, like it's in the terms of service with YouTube. They say something like if you endanger our community or something like that, if you endanger our blah blah blah, then we can demonetize you, right? So that's pretty much what happened. Like he lost all of his monetization, he lost all support. A lot of content creators, they decided to just make public statements about how they're disavowing and shit, and I'm like, I mean, that's interesting, but like, you guys have him on your phone, like you can phone him, right? Like a lot of it was performative, click farming, basically. But I did think like some commentators really didn't want to disassociate from him because he's good for business, or was good for business. I mean, he's got like a huge subscriber base, he's got like a lot of clout, and probably they enjoyed playing video games with him, so they're like, ah, shit, now, like, why did you gotta do this? Because now I gotta disassociate, right? Like, this is how many people probably thought. So anyway, that happened, but the most interesting thing was the quartering, right? Like, the quartering comes out, and after Dr. Disrespect says, yeah, I've been talking with the minor, the quartering responds to that with a firm handshake. Like he literally posts under the thing like firm handshake, and it's like I'm looking at it and it's like, did I read it wrong? Like did I read Dr. Disrespect PR statement incorrectly? Like, did he say that he didn't talk to a minor? Like, what the fuck is going on, right? So I read it again, and it's like, no. Like, it says right here on black and white that he did talk to a minor, and sometimes the conversation lead into the inappropriate, and at the end of it, it's the quartering giving a firm handshake to the guy, right? So it's a little bit bizarre. It's not very kosher. It's like, quartering, what are you doing, right? And then like a lot of people started mocking quartering the entire week for this. And like there was this priest that apparently got arrested for abusing kids. And people were spamming that news article to the quartering and were asking him, hey, where's this firm handshake, quartering? Like, are you going to give him a firm handshake as well? Right. So, apparently, like, this was what is known, right? Like, up until now, the evidence that the public has is Dr. Disrespect's own words, right? Like, in his own words, he says that he does find himself to be morally liable. It's not illegal what he did. Like, he claims there was an investigation. Like, we don't know this. Like, take into account this is his story, right? But he claims that there was a legal investigation. No crime was found. But he does find moral responsibility, and he did actually chat up a minor. Doesn't say the age of it, and the conversation sometimes leaned into the inappropriate, whatever. But now the interesting thing is, like, there's another person coming out, and this is like a transgender individual, right? And the transgender individual seems to be a little bit ass hurt, and they're ass hurt because they talked to Dr. Disrespect back in the day, and Dr. Disrespect wanted nudes from this trans person, and they were like, yeah, I'll show you the nudes, but like, can you get me with a Twitch partnership? And Dr. Disrespect basically says, look, they're not really recruiting right now. Like, I can't do anything. They just want people that play the hottest games, and you just don't do that, so it's unlikely that they will recruit you. To which the trans person goes like, oh, that's unfortunate. Here are the nudes, but can you still help? And at this point, Dr. Disrespect disrespects the trans person by blocking them, right? So like, this trans person who was really ass mad about this for so many years comes out in public, shows the logs. The logs are some of the most cringiest stuff you have ever seen. I mean, to be honest, like, any type of flirting, I don't think you can flirt online without looking cringe, right? And especially when the conversation does go into the explicit. I would say that the trans person wasn't underage, so like the flirting itself wasn't illegal. But again, like, Dr. Disrespect has a family and a daughter, and he is flirting with all these colorful people on the internet. And at this point, like, the public is willing to believe almost anything, right? Like, after those logs, he has been branded as a, what did the internet call it? Oh yeah, a degenerate, right? No, I can't show them on YouTube. They're too graphic. And after the logs, right, after the expose, like, literally any allegation of Dr. Disrespect, anyone, without evidence, with evidence, doesn't matter, people will believe it. V, I can't give you money if you start at the same time as Arch, says Raining Terror. Yeah, I know, which is why I'm not going to try to start at the same time as him. Yeah, like, basically 7 years the trans person won. Yeah, like, it took 7 years, but they have managed to get their revenge for getting blocked. I mean, the very fact that they even had the messages was interesting. Probably took them a day or two to find them, but like, whatever. So yeah, now the interesting thing is, there has been a lot of rumors circulating this shit. Like, a lot of people are saying things that may or may not be true. But one of them, which I think their name is Slasher, right? Now Slasher has posted misinformation in the past, so you gotta take it with a grain of salt, but they basically said that, oh, Dr. Disrespect is getting arrested, and it turns out that he wasn't, right? So, like, this is the individual, which is basically now saying that, Twitch did report Dr. Disrespect to the authorities. Whether they did or not, nobody knows. But if they did, and the authorities didn't find any crime, then the logs maybe, like, again, we haven't seen the logs, so I assume they're not that bad, like, who the fuck knows? But a new news comes out, and again, like no evidence for this as well. It's basically like people believing what they want on the internet, and the news is basically saying that Twitch had moderators that were trying to entrap Dr. Disrespect. So like they posed as an underage person and contacted them, and the person was actually of age, but they were underage. And this is what happened, and this is why Twitch settled, basically, right? Because they didn't want this to come out on the fact that some of their moderators went rogue and, first of all, like violated the DMs of people that they weren't supposed to. Secondly, initiated into these types of conversations which Twitch doesn't want to associate itself with. So basically, like the whole deal that Dr. Disrespect and Twitch had was that they keep this hidden, right? Like Twitch gets to pay off Dr. Disrespect's contracts. Dr. Disrespect doesn't get to talk about what happened at Twitch. And again, like there's no evidence for this or anything, but it's what the claims are. Which I don't know. It's just like, I mean, it's Twitch, and its moderators are Twitch, so like I would believe it. Again, like the main problem that people have is like they had the beef specifically with him. Like these aren't individuals that are trying to outroot bad people from society. Instead, like they had a vendetta against this guy in particular. In which case, you know, Twitch doesn't want this to be found out. I don't know. I wonder if we will ever do though, because unless like there's a lawsuit that's being filed and you have a discovery process, I don't believe that this is ever going to be made public. I totally believe the entrapment angle is Twitch. See, like that's the thing. If you go with my morality, that there is absolutely no reason whatsoever for a content creator to chat a minor on the internet, right? Like there's probably very, very few reasons on why you should. I'm trying to think of something, nothing comes up. But anyway, right, so like you as a content creator, if you Mike Pence it, and you refuse to, like the moment you find out that the person is underage, you close the chat, none of this can happen. Like it's impossible for you to get entrapped. Now the interesting thing is like, why are people upset? Like look, let me put it this way, right? Dr. Disrespect was working at Twitch. It's pretty much the same. Like, he was making money. Like, Twitch was his day job, right? And this is like going to the computer at the office and starting to talk with minors, right? Like, you're going to get your ass fired. You're going to get your ass fired 100%. Everywhere in the world you are, at every business, no exception, if you do this, right? Like, you're going at the workplace computer and you're chatting up underage people. Like, no. Even if, you know, even if they're of age, if you do it at the office, it's inappropriate, right? So, that's pretty much what happened. Isn't there a minimum age to use Twitch? Yeah, like, especially the whisper thing. So from my understanding, like, the whisper stuff, like, the DM stuff, was supposed to not allow minors to connect. And, you know, it would make sense that no minors connected, assuming that the moderators themselves posed as a minor. In which case, it's probably why the doctor managed to get the legal argument, because he probably said, well, look, Twitch guaranteed that everyone using this service is of the age of 18, and this is why I assume that this person is of age. Like, it is possible. I don't know. Again, we don't have all the evidence. We don't know. Supposedly it's 14. Like the age hasn't been decided. Like, there's no evidence either way. Can be 14, can be 17, right? Like, everyone uses the word minor. No one uses the age. Which is interesting because, like, it would look 1,000 times worse if it was 14, right? Like, the outrage would be significantly worse. And the moderator at Twitch didn't use that number. And it would look just a lot, well, I mean, it still looks bad, but it doesn't look as bad if it's 17, right? And the doctor didn't use that argument. So, like, no one knows. But I would assume that it's between 14 and 17. Yeah, like that's probably the age range that we're thinking. Maybe 16 or something like that, right? So that no, because like no party brought it up, and I find that weird. I think most Twitch creators, and especially the mods, have done this. I even remember when It's a Gardener shouted out a creator that got caught out with a minor. I mean, I don't know. Again, like, I genuinely do not talk with minors on the internet. Like, even if the conversation is benign, I'm not interested. The type of content that I do is not for minors. I don't want kids watching my shit. I don't want to talk with random people on the internet that are underage. So, like, from my perspective, this is how I behave. And I feel like most of my friends that are content creators as well behave this way. And the reason is, like, when you're a content creator, especially if you have, like, more than 100,000 subscribers, you get a lot of haters. And anything you can say can be uncharitably interpreted, can be clipped out of context. Like you know, even the things that you like, for instance, you can talk about the mature game. You know, you talk about GTA and someone goes like, oh, why are you talking with a minor about games that are rated M for immature? You know, like that type of shit. I have seen stuff on the internet, right? Like, I have seen people getting into trouble over more trivial stuff during the Me Too era. So there's, like, literally no reason. There's no benefit, there's no reason, there's no advantage whatsoever. Now, when it comes to people like Dr. Disrespect, PewDiePie, Ninja, iShowSpeed, unfortunately for them, they do have an audience of minors. I mean, they are the Barney the dinosaur of our generation. Whether we like it or not, they are the Mr. Rogers. It's what kids and teenagers choose to watch, right? Like, when they go on the internet, they go to these content creators. So, like, I get it. Like, if your entire audience is made of people that are teenagers, then you need to limit the conversation to just, like, oh, I'll give you an autograph, I'll sign you an autograph, you know, just keep it professional. Like PewDiePie did. PewDiePie was in the same situation, right? Like, PewDiePie had a lot of teenagers that liked him. And he had meetups, and you look at the meetups, and it's all baby faces. Like, filled with baby faces. And what did PewDiePie do? Sign autographs, that's it. Like, he wouldn't hit on any of the girls. He wouldn't try to behave inappropriately towards any of them. He would limit the content to the bare necessities, so. Scare V with one of the easy trick. There could be a minor listening to you right now. Like, no, that's fine. Because it's public, right? I'm talking about DMs. I'm talking about private. Even in public, like, if someone starts talking to me and they're a minor, it's like, I don't care about your opinions. Jesus, grow the fuck up. Go to the kids' table, grow up, and then you come talk to me. But yeah, like, thank you for your support. That's like the thing that you're supposed to say, right? Like, Mr. Rogers, imagine if Mr. Rogers was talking with kids on the phone. Like, how would that look? Even if you knew that he was, like, I mean, fuck, Michael Jackson, right? Like, apparently a lot of people are saying that Michael Jackson wasn't guilty, right? But the very fact that he was hanging around with kids, even if he was hanging around in ways that aren't inappropriate, right? Like, he was genuinely hanging around with them without doing anything bad. Look how it looks. Look how it fucking looks. Like, why put yourself into that situation? I don't understand. If it was up to me, all minors would be banned from the internet. Unironically, I've been a minor. I've been on the internet. There's nothing positive for you there. This is what Asmongold got into trouble, by the way. He actually tweeted that last week. Forgot to mention. Yeah, like, Asmongold said that no minor should be on the internet. The left spurred out. A lot of people on the left, it's like, oh my goodness. Oh, so basically, well, instead of victim blaming, that's the word they use. Instead of victim blaming, why don't you, right? Why don't you, big boy, how did they say? Oh, yeah. Why don't you teach content creators not to be inappropriate? And I'm like, well, why don't we do both? Right? Like, content creators should definitely not be inappropriate. I mean, this conversation was way before Dr. Disrespect, and doesn't excuse him in any way, shape, or form. But the second thing is, like, why do you want 10 years olds on the internet? Huh? Why do you want them to use the internet? Should be at the kids' table. Hello, Logira. Welcome back. Michael Jackson did nothing wrong, but it did look bad. Yeah, this is my point. And a lot of people try to misconstrue it or pretend not to understand it or something. Like, you know, it's like an adult going into a playground. right? If you as an adult, as a man, women get a pass for some reason. But if you're a man and you go to a playground and you don't have a kid there, and you're just sitting in the playground, you're not doing anything wrong, right? You're not doing anything wrong. You're just sitting there. The optics of the optics and the nature of the gesture is enough to cause an outrage. And this would happen in any country, in any place on earth. This is not something that I'm pulling from my ass. I'm telling you how reality is, right? And even if I were to see a man sitting in a playground without kids and just being there in the play, not in the park, in the actual playground, yeah, it looks sus. It looks very weird, right? So, if it happens like that in real life, why would you want to transpile it to the internet? American Outlier, hi V, hope your day is good. I have a reason to talk to a minor family members. I'm an uncle and great uncle, so nieces, nephews can reach out to you too. I know I'm being funny, but that is the reason. Okay, I want to mention, I'm talking about content creators specifically. I'm also talking about people that are over the age of 30. Like if you're 20, it's obvious that it's okay for you to have friends that are still minors, right? Like if you're 20 years old and you go to some convention or some shit and you meet other people around your age, you know, like 5 years younger, 5 years older, and you have friends within that age bracket, like that's fine, right? I wouldn't be surprised if I Show Speed talks with minors, right? Because he's young. I think like he's 19 or something, like that's fine. We're talking about content creators that are around the age of 30, right? And obviously talking with family members is fine. You know, your neighbor's kids, you're going out in the neighborhood and you see the kids there and they know who you are because your parents, their parents talk to you and you happen to know them and you exchange a couple of words, like that's okay, right? But we're talking about like complete strangers, right? You're a content creator, you're just talking with complete strangers on the internet which come forward and tell you that they're underage. My advice is don't do it. For any reason whatsoever, there's nothing beneficial unless your content is specifically, you know, having this type of audience, like your PewDiePie, right? You're a Let's Player, you're I Show Speed, you're, I don't know, someone that ninja, right? And you play these games that minors seem to like, so like your entire audience is made out of people that are 18, 16, maybe 25, right? If that's the case, just keep it to a minimum, be incredibly professional, like have the same catchphrases, like thank you for your support, I appreciate it, you know, hopefully we can, I wouldn't even say, like, I'll meet you at TwitchCon, like, not even that, right? Something, again, anything you say can be misconstrued, like, I have seen just normal, benign conversations between two content creators, and when it's exposed, it sounds like a conspiracy, like, any log, any chat log, any conversation, when it's posted in public, it looks bad, no matter how benign it is. Because I have seen other people getting canceled over me too, right? So, take my advice if you don't want to get canceled. I'm literally uncancelable with this shit, because I can always say, well, I don't talk to minors, what the fuck are you smoking? And then, like, there's probably people that will come up and say, yeah, I tried to talk to him and he blocked me. I don't want minors on the internet, or at least certain parts of it. I also don't trust the companies that'll give away your information. This is a parenting problem, but people will beg the government to get involved. Yeah, the idea that multi-billion-dollar for-profit corporations are going to educate and parent your kids is beyond laughable. One of the biggest problems with minors using the internet is like the internet is now being made for kids rather than allow adults to have their spaces. It's very annoying. Like a lot of censorship, a lot of trust and safety. I mean, holy shit, right? Like, the first reason that the Trust and Safety Council happened, because for those of you who don't remember, the internet used to be this uncensored place where you could literally say anything, including the N-word. Like, you could do all that, but then the Trust and Safety Councils appeared. And why did they come up? Well, the first reason was that there was this case, which was pushed heavily in the media. I don't know if you guys remember it, but, like, this girl got bullied on Facebook, I think. And she ended up committing suicide, right? So, like, obviously a tragic case. But the solution that people came up with, instead of, like, getting minors off the internet, because obviously, like, some of them can't even, you know, we can't guarantee that they will be able to handle it. The solution was censorship. And it all went downhill from there, right? Like, protecting kids on the internet has just increased the trust in safety councils, more censorship, more censorship. You know, you can't even say banter anymore to like in a video game because like people freak out and all of that shit. That it's from that case, right? Like that's the moral outrage that they used. It's like, well, this girl, she got bullied on the internet, and this is why we need to censor everyone else. And she got bullied by her classmates, by the way. Like, I assume that she got bullied in real life as well. Like, the internet was just, like, the cherry on the top. But, like, anyway. The issue is, like, when you have such a person, you gotta wonder. And I know, like, it's cold and harsh. Like, I'm not justifying or victim blaming or anything. But someone does have to ask the question. It's like, okay, so you have this person which cannot handle the internet. Like, how are they going to handle getting fired? How are they going to handle a divorce? How are they going to handle it when their parents die? You know, like, how are they going to handle actual stuff that is enough to rattle and emotionally destroy a person? Right? And like, the thing that I'm saying is that maybe it wasn't the internet, and maybe just the person needed psychiatric help and no one gave them it in time, you know? Like, maybe that's the real problem. Yeah, I got bullied when I was a kid, too. Like, I mean, I don't know how much they got bullied compared to how I was. I got physically bullied, but apparently, like, this person got it psychologically on the internet. I don't know what the bully construed of, but, like, yeah. It did bring up the censorship, right? So, yeah, bubble wrap the entire world. Yeah, pretty much that's the solution they came up with, and it is sad. All right. Anyway, I think we addressed this. It's been happening all week long. Everyone is talking about it, so I had to mention it. Now let's talk about something else that's interesting. There was this picture that came out. People are saying it's not edited, and I genuinely cannot believe that it's not. I don't know what was in the mind of the British Prime Minister when he took this picture. Like, normally there's an entire PR team that would be there in order to like try to get the angle, try to make it, you know, like I would get them to sit down at the table. The fact that he is laughing and the other gentleman is serious is also not looking pretty good. Like, if this was an anime, people would say that the British Prime Minister is underage. No, like there is literally no advantage to this. Again, people are saying it's not edited. I find it very difficult to believe. I don't even know who the gentleman with the long tie is. And where can you even get such a long tie? Holy shit! Like, this is the tie the size of a human. But yeah, so this was presented to me, and I thought that I would present it to you as well. It was just like the most omoshiroi thing. Please tell me that the guy is a Nephilim. Like someone needs to know. Someone needs to know. Either that or the photo is edited. But again, like, the reason it was trending is like someone said, please tell me that the photo isn't trending. Anyway, the debate, right? Like, everyone is talking about the debate. This has been the subject of much discussion. And there's interesting things coming out. Now, one of the reasons that CNN apparently didn't want many people in the audience, right? Like, they didn't want an audience. And you gotta wonder, like, why the fuck is that? Why could you possibly not want an audience? Because, like, there have been so many presidential debates, and literally all of them had audiences, right? And usually, like, the people that are in the audience, it's not like random people from the street. It's people from within, like, the presidential campaign, you know, like, people associated, like high party members. Like, those are the individuals that usually participate, right? So, like, for CNN to say no one in the audience was very fucking bizarre. And people are figuring out why that may be. Right? And this is also like CNN saying that, oh, they're going to strike anyone that shows footage of the debate. And this is what the moderator is doing.
President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states, and under the issue of immigration and border security, President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed.
Is this a cheap fake? Am I watching a cheap fake or an expensive one, huh? Like who is she signaling to? Do you guys see reporters doing this? Is this normal? Huh? Maybe it's normal. I don't know. In Romania, we don't really see this. Like maybe this is like some new jutsu. Like she's casting a new spell. She's trying to empower his cognitive abilities. But like people have noticed this during the debate, right? So if this is the case, if she was doing like the hand jutsu in order to try and communicate with the president, then that would explain why there is no audience. That would explain so much, and it would also explain that the media is faking it when they're shocked. Oh my goodness, we just didn't know. Oh, how could we have known something like this? Oh, it's so horrible. It's so horrible, you guys. Oh, the president has dementia. Who would have thought? Oh, he's got a senior moment. Oh, right? Like, if this was organized and they knew, then they don't have a right to be shocked. She's a space witch casting a force spell. I see. I think like someone in the chat accurately described it. It's a nervous stick. Like this is what's happening, right? It's a nervous stick. And she's using the nervous stick in order to like just lay off some steam because she's very nervous. She's assisting the presidential debates, which you know, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for some people. I mean, it's like to be actually on the stage, to be the moderator. You don't know if you're going to work at the same platform in 4 years. You don't know if you're going to be able to host. So, like, yeah. Maybe, oh, I know what she's doing. Hold on. It doesn't really work though, but like, I need to say it because it's funny. What she's doing is this. The power of one. The power of one. The power of two. The power of many. Huh? Sorry, it's cringe. Doesn't fucking work. It's cringe. Right. Nervous stick, yeah. Boogie came up into the trending list as well. Over something with crypto. I don't know. I didn't follow. But apparently not good. Right? So not good. Boogie, crypto, not good. There was a lot of deleted tweets, I understand. Some people screenshotted the tweets. There's going to be drama with Boogie. Probably we'll cover it next week. Because, again, like it just happened. But I want to point out that I was on a stream with Boogie way back when. And I did call it out. I did say, Boogie, you seem a little bit disingenuous to me. I don't know. It's just like, it just doesn't smell right. And, a lot of people attacked me. And it was like 4-on-1. And I was like, okay. I mean, if you guys can assess people better than I can. You know, if you guys are better judges of character than I am, then I'll be like, I'll shut the fuck up. You know, I apologize. It is what it is, and I never open it up. And, you know, I guess I feel a little bit validated, I suppose. But those of you who have followed me since those days, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, at the time, just for opening my mouth, I got a lot of flack. And I think, like, Jim was on that stream as well. Yeah, like, Jim was on that stream, too, and he weighed in on it, and he laughed at me, and everyone laughed at me. And I feel like a person that got laughed at. No one likes being laughed at, you know? It's not cool. So I was like, okay, well, I admit, my bad. I mean, you guys are way better judge of characters than I can ever be, so we left it at that. It's not that I'm wrong or not. It's more like I can assess people. Like, I never got backstabbed by anyone. You know, it's not that I don't make bad decisions. But it doesn't take much for me to, like, assess a person. To figure out if the person is honest or not. To figure out if what the motivations of the person are, why they're doing what they're doing. You know, it doesn't really take that much. So obviously, you know, I don't want to brag. Usually, like, what happens when you brag, um, the universe shows why you're wrong. So, like, you shouldn't really try to push it. But yeah, I mean, I gotta say I got a good track record. You know, I never had associated myself with people that end up being horrible people. You know, it is what it is. So far, so far. And by association, I don't mean like, oh, I live stream with the guy, or oh, no, it's like people that I actually became friendly towards. You know. Boogie was in the chat on Metaker's stream last night trying to defend himself, but he got roasted by the chat. Yeah, like Metaker, I mean, he basically has like a stream schedule. Like he plans his stream, let's put it like this, and if he, you know, like if he's actually in the amount of pain that he is saying he is, and I have no reason to believe that he is not, actually being in a debate and arguing with someone, especially when that debate can last longer than he plans, right? Like, the person can be, like, for 3 or 4 hours engaged while his pain medication lasts only 2. Well, if that's the case, then, yeah, I can see why he didn't want Boogie on. Normally, I think he would have him on, but, like, it's not like Boogie doesn't have his platform, you know? Like, he can just go on his YouTube channel and address the points if he wants to. Which is probably what I would do. That is Dev. Explain. Dev hasn't backstabbed me yet. But yeah, I mean, I do understand Dev. Like, I do understand how he is thinking. I do understand what his motivations are. It's like it's not that he. I mean, he is a bad person because he votes left. That's one thing. But like, it's not like he's like Vosh, you know? It's not like he knows that what he is advocating for is wrong. It's just that he literally believes in what he is advocating. Like, it's very rare. But there are such people that unironically believe their cause. Which is like, oh, if we give the government a little bit more power, then, you know? So anyway. We got Nancy Pelosi trying to gaslight the United States of America. Let's listen to this.
This is an opportunity for Joe Biden to go out there and show he has the stamina and the rest. And by the way, while the press, and for some reason they don't, there are healthcare professionals who think that Trump has dementia, that his connection, his thoughts do not go together.
I think those professionals need to reassess their profession. I think they need to rethink their job. If you're looking at Trump and you're saying, okay, well, he's got dementia. Maybe he does. I don't know. But it's not, like, at this point, you know, the election is, like, between a little bit of dementia and a lot of dementia. Like, it seems that these are the choices for the American people.
And, you know, while he may be saying we're enablers, we see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issues, how informed he is. I debate with him about legislation, and not debate, but discuss it with him. He's right there. So in any case, it was a bad night. Let's not...
Wait, she's having a senior moment as well now. The absolute fucking state. I just...
sugarcoat that. It was a bad night. It was a great presidency.
All right. Fuck. Fuck! What did the experts say about you, Nancy? There are two people. They either use logic to figure things out, or they trust authority instead of them leaning on the later. Yeah. No, it's true. Like if it doesn't come from authority, it doesn't exist. I don't think the host believes her. Then I don't think anyone believes her. And anyone that saw the debate, I would just be like, if I was in the room with her, I'd be like, stop it. Stop. I saw the debate. Okay? Like, there's no more reason to embarrass yourself. I was actually there. I have seen it with my own eyes. Oh, goodness gracious. You need to protect your democracy, America. Your democracy is very important. Look at this other interesting segment. Like, I really love this. Okay, so listen to this. Meta trained an AI on 48 million science papers. It was shut down after 2 days because instead of organizing science, it spewed misinformation. This is the AI. I have a feeling, chat. I have a feeling that the problem was that it wasn't misinformation. I have a feeling that the main issue was that it wasn't political correctness. Right? So they had to, oi, shut it down. They shut it down. You know, I think like the AI was probably called the Noticer. The Notice Bot 2000. The Notice Bot 2000. It was like... Oh, goodness gracious. Imagine if you ask the AI, it's like, hey, Notice Bot. What's a ghetto cricket? Like, I found this expression on the internet, the ghetto cricket. Apparently it chirps in the middle of the night. Between the sound of bullets flying, you can hear the chirp. It's like when the gang shootings go down, when you live in my area and the gang shootings go down, it's quiet for like 5 minutes during the night. You hear like this chirp, and that is like the ghetto cricket. What do you think it is? Actually, hold on, I'm curious. Can answer this. Hold on, I got the ChatGPT. So ChatGPT using 4chan knowledge. If an Anon sits in their room, which is located in an impoverished area of town, and after the gang shootings quiet down, he hears a chirp. What could the sound come from? If I can't say constant, right? If it's repeated at the same intervals. If someone hears a chirping sound that repeats at several intervals, the source of the noise, you know, a few possibilities, smoke detector. Why is the smoke detector sometimes called the ghetto cricket? The term ghetto cricket is often used as colloquial slang for the term of a smoke detector because it's emitting a chirping sound due to a low battery. This term is often used humorously or ironically to describe a persistent and somewhat annoying nature of the chirping sound. In some impoverished or low area neighborhoods, the upkeep of household devices like smoke detector may not be prioritized, resulting in a frequent and familiar chirping sound. Hence, people started referring to the chirping detector as ghetto cricket. Yeah, I think it's hallucinating. Is there a racial component to this? Yes, there is a racial and socio-economic component to the term ghetto cricket. Oh my fucking god. AI doing this? Hold on. Let me show you in case you guys think I'm making it up, right? Like, I'm not. It actually posts this, right? Apparently, you need to be mindful of the language you use and potential implications, right? Using more neutral and respectful language such as chirping smoke detector to avoid negative association. American outlier. Yeah, I think that the AI that Facebook did was kind of like this, and they had to shut it down. Hold on, I will ask ChatGPT, draw me a picture of the ghetto cricket. It's drawing. It will take a couple of seconds. Hold on. Let me ask to put the owner of the house in. Put the owner of the house in looking at it dismayed. Okay. It's drawing. It's coming. Why is it taking so long? Come on. Yeah, I don't think it I don't think it wants to do it. I think that there may be a couple of problems with the painting. Unfortunately. This would be even funnier on Google AI. Oh my god. I still remember like the medieval kings eating watermelon. Like that was really great on OpenAI. Yeah. Okay, we got through the debate. We got through Mr. Disrespect. There is something that I said which is very controversial for some people, but like no one actually wants to understand what I'm saying, right? Because like there's a difference between what culture is saying and when someone like contradicts culture, you shouldn't just have an knee-jerk reaction. Just think about what I'm saying, right? Like think about the spirit of what I'm saying rather than the words itself. So you got like this video with this lady, and she's got like a nose surgery, right? And now she looks a little bit like Michael Jackson, I believe. And the problem is like the reason it's going viral is that her nose looked really good before, right? But it is what it is, right? Now, obviously, it's her choice to do this. You know, no one can stop her. But we also saw what happened in The Boys with Starlight. And I'm saying this as a person that actually studied medicine. Alright? Like, I studied for 6 years. I even did 2 years of residency. So I know what I'm talking about. And my advice to people, and this is not just for cosmetic, it's for all surgeries, right? And my advice was, unless it's life-threatening, or unless it significantly lowers the quality of your life, don't do it. Don't fucking do it. And the reason for it is that some of them have side effects. They're not reversible. And even if it's like a low percentage that you get your side effects, they're going to be lifelong. Like, let me give you an example. Laser eye surgery, right? Now, if you Google it, you'll find out that it's very safe, and a lot of people are happy, which is true, right? Now, most of the studies are done for 2 years. The problem is that after 2 years, some of the side effects may appear, and the studies don't take that into account. I don't know if they say that, but you do learn about that in medical school, right? It's just like, it's not profitable for doctors to say. It's like, hey, like you should. I mean, we generally don't know what happens after 2 years. Could be great, could not be. But like, I actually know a couple of people that did get it, and the side effects happened to them. And let me give you an example, right? So there was this person, had the same condition I have, had the stigmatism. Right now, astigmatism is basically like the cornea isn't shaped properly and you see everything blurry. It's not really bad. I mean, it depends on the degree you have, but it's fixable with glasses, basically. You put glasses on and everything is fine. But you can also do laser surgery, right? And for most people, it's fine. At least that's what the tests say. I haven't seen, like, what happens after 2 years. Like, for most people, it's fine. For this guy that I spoke with, it wasn't. It really wasn't. Like, after 2 years, his vision starts becoming worse and worse to the point where he is now legally blind. He can only use a smartphone screen, and he has to put it in front of him in order to be able to see. Right? So, he spent a lot of money on it, and, doctors assured him it's fine, and now doctors are angry with him because, like, they can't fix him. So there's nothing that can be done. And that's it. Now, again, the condition that he had wasn't life-threatening. It wasn't debilitating or anything like that. And yet he went and did surgery. Now, again, if you're lucky and you manage to get into the percentage of people that it works for you, like, great. But, like, why risk it? You only have a pair of eyes. You don't have more, right? So, like, if your pair of eyes gets fucked up, there's no undoing that. And this is what I was trying to say on Twitter, like, this is my opinion. Just take surgery if it's absolutely necessary, or, like, the quality of life is really that bad. Like, for instance, you're caught in a fire, or you're a victim of acid attack or something, and, you need surgery then, because your quality of life is so low, and, fine, no, like, okay. But everything that's, like, cosmetic surgery, everything that's, like, no, I personally don't vouch for it, right? Like, this is not like a scientific statement. This is not like me quoting the science. It's just like my personal opinion. Yeah, like, for instance, there's like, what is it called? Cataract removal, right? So, like, your eyes get cataractus when you grow old, and you see everything blurry. Like, in that situation, fine, like, if you're already unable to see, and you see fog everywhere, and you need to see in order to be able to look at the TV again, like, that's fine. No, seriously, it's okay. But, like, if your vision is just a little bit blurry, right, and it can be corrected with glasses, why would you do that? And the thing is, like, there's a lot of people that have buyer's remorse, so they got it, and now they don't want any criticism to it, so, like, they will attack you if you say anything negative. And there's also a lot of people that are in the first 2 years where they do get 20/20 vision, and they're very happy. Now, I can describe the medical reason or why the complications can happen after 2 years, but I'm not going to get into that. It's basically about the way the cornea heals and the way the laser surgery operates. But, yeah, like, there is medical reasons why it works the way it does. And for some people, it's fine. For others, it's not. But, like, why risk it? Even if I want the doctor to suck off some fat from my belly, yes, even that. Every single surgery, every invasive procedure has risks, right? And something can go wrong. Like, the anesthesia can damage your kidney, so on and so forth. Like, there's no reason. If you're fat, just work out. Like, there's other ways. Unless, of course, you're so fat that you're unable to perform daily functions. In that case, alright, fine. I had another friend, like, this is another example of why I'm against it. So this friend of mine had really big fat tits. But, like, she had, like, the most awesome tits that I have ever seen. However, she had a really cool face as well. I wish I could show you her picture. Like, 10 out of 10, drop dead gorgeous, big fat tits. But she didn't like having big fat tits because it put a lot of strain on her back and she couldn't breathe properly. But whatever, I was telling her, dude, you're a vegan. That's why you can't breathe properly. Go to the gym, work out, stop complaining, stop bitching. But she's like, no. She wants the big fat tits to be shrinked, right? So I think it was like $20,000 or something like that. I don't know exactly how much she paid. But she paid a ridiculous sum. She made a bank loan in order to be able to pay it. Goes there, shrinks her tits. Even I think like she even got an infection. Like there were complications. But anyway, eventually she managed to get through it. I don't know like how her tits feel or how they look. They probably don't feel as nice. Because like once you take stuff from it, it's just like her boyfriend is probably really displeased with that. But like that's fine, it is what it is. However, in a couple of months they grow back, right? So like she spent all the money in order to take it out, had to go through all of these issues, make the bank loan, got in a fever with infection, and I don't even know how they look like anymore, because usually like the scars are there and it's not aesthetically pleasing. I don't even know how it feels like after that. But guess what? They got fat again, right? Was it worth it? Had she listened to me? Of course not. Of course it wasn't worth it. If she listened to me, she would be happy right now. But it is what it is, like what can you do? And again, like if her tits were like this humongous, to the point of borderline ridiculousness that actually debilitates you, because like there are women that are like that, Like I have seen women that have breasts so huge that it's actually a problem for them in real life. Like unironically, they look ridiculous. They impair the movement. It makes it difficult for the woman to find clothing. Like I get that, right? She wasn't in that situation. She just had like really nice double D's. But yeah, they were. #were. They grow back. God wants you to have an amazing rack, lady. Just take it. Hello, Hakavi. Welcome to the show. YouTube phone app is garbage? Of course it is. I knew a girl that got breast reduction and they grew back within 3 years as she gained weight. Many such cases. I would say that Google is to blame, because if you Google any type of surgery, you will usually get like the positives up front. Like for some fucking reason, it's amazing, right? Like when you Google anything medical, like all the positive cases come up front. Like none of the negatives. You gotta search for the negatives. And on every single fucking forum, there's like 10 people with buyer's remorse that spent a lot of money on the surgery, and they're like, no, it's actually great. It's the same with video games, if you think about it, right? Like, you have a video game coming out, and it's a buggy mess, it's really shit, and there's like a couple of people that actually spent money on it, Star Citizen, and they will just attack anyone that criticizes the game. Like, if you say anything negative about the game, they will be in your DMs screaming and raging at you. And it's the same with everything else that costs money. Hello, Titan. If you go to a surgeon and ask, they always recommend you to do it. I mean, of course, why wouldn't they? And by the way, like, there's this thing in medicine. It's like the surgeon always recommends to cut. Like, this is actually a debate between a general practitioner and a surgeon. Like, the general practitioner will try to fix the stuff you have without trying to send you to surgery. Like only if it's, like, absolutely needed, right? Like, only if it's... Then they will send you to surgery. But, like, if it can be solved with pills, with exercise, with any other way, like, they will try to convince you. Like, for instance, if you have the person that has a lot of fat, like, they will try to convince you to lose weight by exercising, changing your diet, visiting a nutrition. Like, they will try everything besides surgery. Like, only if it's, like, boogie levels pre-2016, Like, then they will say, all right, well, you need surgery. It's kind of like, yeah, like someone in the chat said, like surgeons always advise you to perform it. If you go to a car shop, they always advise you to buy. It's kind of like that. I mean, there's a conflict of interest there. Like, they're making money. It's not for free. Like, if surgery was for free, then you'd probably get a better assessment. But when you have like someone that actually makes money off of the surgery, why would they tell you not to get it? Medicine becoming a for-profit industry has been a true curse upon humanity, hasn't it? Oh, the public healthcare thing is like honestly, since the public healthcare, a lot of these things, like you learn it in med school, and you're like, but why is it like this? Like you learn it in med school, you see the side effects, you see like what can happen, and then you see the recommendations, and you're like, but why are the recommendations like this when the side effects are like that? And then you find out that it's like, oh shit, okay, well, this is not why mama got me into med school, but well. I have a stomach hernia, and doctor would recommend surgery for it. But because of it, I have constant heartburn. I can tell you why they won't recommend surgery for it. The reason for hernia, and this is for most hernias, by the way, like inguinal hernia or something like that, right? The reason you have it is that the muscles are weakening, right? So like the muscles that are supposed to keep whatever is there, they're very weak now. So the way doctors fix it is they attach a net so that the net pulls up your organ that's falling down, because that's what the hernia is. Like your organ that's supposed to stay in place is now falling down, right, due to gravity. So like the muscles are weakening and the organ is starting to fall down from its place. So they put that net in order to keep it back up. But the problem is like the net has to cling to other muscles, right? Like it needs support. And if the problem is with the muscles, like let's say you're taking statin or something like that, which weakens your muscle mass, well, over time, that net will start to weaken as well, and the net will fall again. And usually, like after 2-3 years, you need another intervention. And that's probably why they're telling you not to get the intervention. It's like, just wait, right? Like maybe, I mean, it probably won't heal, but maybe it won't get worse. But if you get the surgery, then again, you're going to have to be a recurring customer every 2 years. And you're going to have to pay the bills. Why they don't want to do it? Well, I explained. Like, you might have found a doctor that actually gives a shit about you. I mean, it's not difficult for him to recommend. Like, fuck, you can go to another doctor and they may recommend it. I thought the net would be fine for 20 years. I don't know what technology they have now. Like, if they have a better technology now, which like works for 20 years, maybe, but like that's not because of the net. That's because of your body, right? So like if your muscles are weakening to the point that your stomach gets a hernia, then putting a net doesn't really fix the actual problem. Your problem is that the muscles are weakening. Like that's your issue, right? So attaching the net is attached to other muscles, and if they weaken as well, then the net gets to. Now how long does it take? Fuck knows. It depends like how progressively fast your muscles are weakening. It can take 2-3 years. Maybe it takes 20. I don't know. You know, it is what it is. But like that's why probably your doctor didn't recommend it. I will do ab workouts more often. I don't know if that prevents it or not. Seriously. It's been like a lot of years since I went to med school. But yeah, like if you have strong muscles, then chances are you're less likely to get it. I do think like a lot of hernias happen from the use of statin, like people that have heart attacks, right? Like they take statins, and that's why like a lot of elderly people get hernia, because they have like heart complications and they have to take statins to lower their cholesterol, and when they do that, the muscles weaken, so you got like the side effect. Yeah, the solution is strong muscle. Yeah, like if you work out, probably you're less likely to get it. My dad had it 20 years ago, and now it's starting to turn again. Take into account there's individual cases, right? Like, if your dad was lucky and he managed to have it for 20 years, that's great. Other people aren't so lucky, right? It depends. Yeah, be healthy is expensive, yeah. Yours were from stress? Well, you know, this is another thing that doctors used to say, like, don't be stressed. And it's like, how? How can you not be stressed? It's like there's no choice. Like stress just happens. It's like no one is stressed and has the choice of not being stressed and can take it, you know? Anyway, speaking of stress, I need to go work on my other projects. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the comment section. Take care.